Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be seeing if a new router will make a lot of difference to our internet connection compared to our old existing router. Now in the UK we call this a router, in the rest of the world you will know it as a router. So it's going to be a very simple test. I'm purely testing the Wi-Fi connection, and the reason is more and more devices now, people are connecting up via Wi-Fi because it's just so easy. And a lot of people blame their service providers and they say that my internet connection is really bad. Really what they mean is their Wi-Fi connection is really bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare this new router to our old existing VirginMedia Super Hub, and we're going to see the difference in different locations of the house. Now the test is basically going to be in different rooms in the house, and also I'm going to be testing a phone and a laptop at the same time to see how the routers cope with multiple streams working at the same time. Now in theory this router here should be better because it's tri-band, so we can have three separate Wi-Fi bands all working at the same time, so it's kind of like having three separate routers next to each other. Also, as you can see here, we've got 6 external antennas and we've got things like beam forwarding technology. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail about what the router does in this video, that will be on another video. This video is purely seeing if it's worth buying yourself a new router. So if you've got parts in the house where your Wi-Fi signal is really bad, or for example you've got an Xbox or a PlayStation, or your kids have one and they're saying that one line's really laggy, it doesn't work properly, then it could all be to do with your Wi-Fi connection. So it's going to be quite interesting to see the difference between the old and the new. So this is going to be the layout here. We're going to be doing them both at the same time. Now on the old VirginMedia Super Hub I had a choice between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, but they don't do both at the same time. So at the moment I've got this set to 2.4 because I've got some old iPods and stuff in the house, and if I was to change it just to the 5 gigahertz frequency, then those old devices wouldn't work. So on this test here, everything on the VirginMedia Super Hub is going to be on the 2.4 gigahertz network, and then on this new TP-Link Archer router here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing the phone on the 2.4 gigahertz network, and I'm going to be doing my laptop on the 5 gigahertz network, and I'm going to go throughout the house and I'm going to do speedtest.net, and I'm just going to go into each location, do them both at the same time, put down the figures here, and we'll see how it compares in the end. I'm also going to show you how easy this is to set up. Now with the VirginMedia Super Hub, you can connect it as a modem only, but I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to leave it exactly as it is working now. I'm just going to take an Ethernet cable out the back and put it into the input of this, because remember this one here is for cable connections, so the input is an Ethernet connection into it, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm then going to connect my phone and my laptop to this one here to get the results. So first of all I'm going to go around the house on my existing VirginMedia Super Hub, and I'm going to note down all the figures, and then I'm going to connect this up, and then I'm going to note down all the figures on the new one, and I'm hoping to see that this will be a big improvement over the old one, but this is a real life test, so let's give it a go and see what happens. Right, let me just show you where the current routers live. So at the moment that's the VirginMedia Super Hub there, and I'm going to put the TP-Link one next to it. Now from there we're testing into this room here, which is the front room, and then from there we're going to be also going into the back room here. So through the kitchen I'm going to be testing into the back room here, and then I'm also going to be testing outside, and then a couple of bedrooms upstairs. So we're going to be going into the main room here, and we're also going to be doing 2 of the back bedrooms. So this one here, and then another back bedroom, which is over here. Okay, so just quickly show you here now, you can see that my Wi-Fi on my cell phone is connected to VirginMedia, and we're going to be using speedtest.net, and on here as well, you can see here, if I hover over here, you can see it's also connected to VirginMedia. Right, now on the test I'm just going to be fast forwarding through them all to just speed up the video. Okay, so I'm ready to do the test, and I'm going to do them both at the same time just to see how the old router handles 2 things at once, and also how the new router handles 2 things at once. Okay, so the first results are in. So I forgot to mention that in my house here, I'm with Virgin Media, and I've got a 70 meg download and a 5 megabits upload. So that's what comes into the house. But often I might have 73 or 74 megabits per second download. Now on this first result here, I've got the phone coming in as a 29.81 download and a 4.6 upload, and I've got the laptop as 34.73 download and a just over 5 megabit per second upload. So now I'm going to go to the other rooms in the house and do exactly the same thing. Okay, so we're now in the back room, so we're going to do exactly the same test again. Test again, test again. Okay, so those results are in, so now I'm going to go outside and do the same one again on the Virgin Media Super Hub. Okay, so I'm outside now, and unfortunately it's completely lost the signal. So it says network communication issues on the mobile phone, and if you have a look down here, I haven't got any Wi-Fi signal at all. So on the Virgin Media Super Hub, I can't get any signal outside. Okay, so we're now in the front bedroom. Let's get the results here. Right, okay, those results are in. Now let's go to the back bedroom number 1. Right, so we're now in back bedroom number 1. Let's give it a test here. Right, we've got the results there. Now let's go into the back bedroom number 2. Okay, we're now in back bedroom number 2. So let's do the final test here for the Virgin Media Super Hub. Okay, so as you can see, the results are in. It's a really poor signal in this back bedroom. So on the laptop, the test timed out because the signal was so weak. And if you have a look here, the mobile phone did connect, but very poor signals there. So look, 0.19 megabits per second. So we're looking at, that's only 190 kilobits per second. So tiny speeds. So let's do the same test again now on the TP-Link Archer router, and let's see what the result is. Right, so let's quickly unpack this now and just set it up under the stairs. Now this router does have lots of features on it. I'm not going to be using any of them in this video apart from just plugging it in and testing the Wi-Fi signal. So there we go, that's what it looks like there. I am going to put all the antennas up, and it's going to go under the stairs. I'll show you that in just a second. And all we're going to be doing is using the supplied lead with it. This is just a Cat5e Ethernet lead. And we're just going to go from, at the back here, you just see where it says internet. I'm just going to be plugging that into there, and then the other end into one of my Ethernet ports on my existing Virgin Media Super Hub. And then I'm going to connect up my laptop and my phone to the TP-Link SSIDs rather than the Virgin Media ones. And we've just got our power supply here. So let's pop this under the stairs now, plug it in. Let's see how easy it is to connect up. So I'm not going to go in, I'm not going to change any of the settings or anything like that. I'm purely going to just use the supplied SSID and the password on the bottom of the router. So on the bottom here we have the wireless password pin. So all I'm going to be doing is connecting on the SSID. So if you have a look here with the SSIDs here, I've got 3 to choose from, because remember I said earlier it's like 3 routers. So that top one there is a 2.4 gigahertz channel, and then I have 2 ones that's working on the 5 gigahertz channel. And this router as well also does AC wireless. And my old Virgin Media Super Hub didn't do AC, it only went up to N. So AC is a quicker Wi-Fi signal. Okay, so I'm now squashed under my stairs here, and I'm going to plug the white cable into the back of the Virgin Media Super Hub. So I'm just going to pick a port. At the moment they're all empty. So if you have a look down there now, you can see that this is where you put your Ethernet cables in. So I'm not changing this into a modem or anything. This is still going to work as it is, and you can still connect to this one if you like. But for the purpose of this test, we're purely going to be connecting to the TP-Link. Now all I have to do is plug this in. So I'm going to plug in the power cord into the back. So I've got my power cord here. Should leave that in the off position. And now I'm going to plug it in Now, in case you're wondering, you're thinking, you know, like, why doesn't he have a wired connection? Well, I do. Remember, I'm only doing this to test out the router for Wi-Fi, because certain things like iPods and stuff you have to have, and tablets, you have to have a Wi-Fi signal. Obviously, it's never going to be as good as a wired network. Well, not in the foreseeable future anyway. Right, okay, so we've got it all plugged in now, and we just need to power it on, and hopefully in about 2 or 3 minutes it should all sync itself up and we should be ready to go. So I'm just going to fast forward through this bit now. There we go, look at that. So now, in theory, it should be working. So it was as easy as that, and I know I fast forward through most of it, but that still only took less than 1 minute. So there we go. It's not exactly hard to do if you just do it in this setup here. So obviously, you can do many other options on this. I'm just showing you the very basics of it. Right, let's go now and do exactly the same test again, but we're going to connect purely now to the TP-Link router, and we're not connecting to the VirginMedia Super Hub. Okay, so we're back in the main room now, and we're going to be testing with the TP-Link router. Just to remind you, on the VirginMedia Super Hub in this room, on the phone we had 29 down and 4 up. Laptop we had 34 down and 5 up. So just to show you that I have connected to the TP-Link, if I go down here, you can see now it says TP-Link, and on this one it's just on the 2.4 frequency. And on the laptop here, I've connected to the 5 gigahertz frequency. So if you have a look there, you can see 5G1. Remember, there's also another 5 gigahertz frequency as well that you can connect to. There's 2 5 gigahertz and 1 2.4. We've got it set up now, ready to go. So I'm going to do exactly the same as again, use both of them at the same time. Right, okay, so that's a vast improvement if you have a look there, from the main room on the old one to the main room on the new one, but we'll go over all the figures at the very end. Now I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of the house, get the other results, and then we're going to have a look at it at the very end and see what the difference is. Okay, so we're now in the back room. Let's get the test here. Okay, so the results are in there, and now we're going to go outside. Okay, so we're now outside again. Let's see if we can get a connection this time. Right, now interesting, on the phone we did get a connection. We got 6.16 down and 4.45 up, but yet on the laptop we didn't. And that goes to prove that when you're using the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, it will travel a lot further than the 5 gigahertz frequency. So here I cannot get a connection on 5 gigahertz, but yet I can on the 2.4 gigahertz. So let's go test in the front bedroom upstairs. Okay, we're back in the front bedroom upstairs. Let's see what happens now. So those results are in. Let's now go to the back bedroom. Okay, we're in the back bedroom again. So let's see what the results are now with the TP-Link. Right, okay, now let's go to the second back bedroom. Okay, so this is going to be the final result now. We're in the second back bedroom. So let's give it a go and see what the outcome is. Okay, so that's the test done. Now let's have a look at the final result. Okay, so we're ready to have a look at the results now between the old VirginMedia Super Hub and the TP-Link router down here. Now if you have a look here, this is all the VirginMedia stuff and this is all the TP-Link down here. If you want to take a quick pause there, hopefully you can just make that out, but I'll go through each of them. When you see a down arrow, that means that it's download, and an up arrow means upload. Right, okay, so let's look at the results. In the main room, to begin with the phone, we got a 29.81 down and we got a 4 up. Well, compare that to the TP-Link, we've got 57 down and again up. So basically, the up's going to be pretty much the same on all of them. So if we have a look, there's no point in me talking about the ups because they're all so very similar. Yeah? But if we just concentrate on the downloads. So if we have a look here, we've got 29 compared to 57, and we got 34 compared to 67 here. So as you can see, in the main room, which is relatively close to the routers, it would be worth getting a new router in this setup. Now I must say, it will vary from house to house. You might get better results, you might get worse results. It's going to depend on the structure of your house. Right, but as you can see in this room here now, they're both performed well, but the TP-Link has done a lot better. Now in the back room here, I normally struggle with the connection in the back room. If you have a look at here, there's a vast difference. So on the phone we have a 10.61 down, and yet on the phone with the TP-Link we've got 57.06 down. So that's a huge increase, that's 5 times better. And with the laptop we've got 8 down, and in the TP-Link we've got 17. So again, twice as good. So if you were having something in the back room, so for example now, if your Xbox or PlayStation, or you were streaming Netflix 4K on your TV, then you would have much more success with the TP-Link rather than the VirginMedia one. Now when it comes to outside, I couldn't get a signal at all on the VirginMedia one, and with the outside I couldn't get a signal on the laptop. Now that was interesting because the laptop was connected, remember, to the 5 GHz frequency, and the phone was connected to the 2.4 GHz frequency. So with the phone we did just about get a connection, not great but not too bad, 6.16 down and 4.45 up. Remember, my connection is 70 meg down and 5 megabits up from the service provider, but with the laptop it wouldn't connect at all. Now that's probably because, generally speaking, the 2.4 GHz frequency will travel better than the 5 GHz frequency. The 5 GHz frequency will often give you better speeds because it's less congested, but it doesn't travel well through walls and stuff like that. So again, TP-Link, slightly better, but not great. You know, you're not going to be wowed by anything there. So it doesn't work miracles. Although it's better, it still doesn't work miracles. As further you get away from this, obviously the signal does drop out. Now the front bedroom, on the VirginMedia we got 10 down compared to 58 down when it comes to the phone. So again, a huge increase there. But yet when we come to the laptop, I got 16 down here, and I only got 23 down here. So not a very good increase at all. But still, it is still an increase. It's interesting to see the difference between the two, again, because this is using 2.4 and this is using 5 GHz. So again, you need to experiment with your equipment. If it's nearby, generally speaking, you'll probably get a better connection on the 5 GHz. But as you start moving further away, you will probably get a better connection on the 2.4 GHz frequency. Now with the back bedroom here, we've got a 2.6 on the phone and a 6.13 on the laptop. And if you have a look at the TP-Link router, it's better on the phone. Again, it's a lot better on the phone. It's still not great speeds, but it's still 5 times the speed of that one. Well, not quite 5, but 11.69 down. But have a look at the laptop here, only 3.83 up on the TP-Link. So the VirginMedia Super Hub gave a better signal in this back bedroom on the laptop. Again, because this is using 2.4 GHz frequency and we were using the 5 GHz frequency on the laptop. So if you had it set up here, you would be better having the VirginMedia Super Hub, or change it to the 2.4 GHz frequency, and then hopefully it would increase. So the phone, there is an increase, not massive, but well, percentage wise it's massive. So percentage wise it's a big increase, but it's still not great, because if you've got a 70 megabits per second download coming into the house, and in the upstairs room you've only got 11.69 megabits per second download, then you're not going to be overly happy, because it's only 1/7 of what you should be getting. Right now, so back bedroom here, we've got on the phone terrible speeds here. This is the second back bedroom. Look at that, only 190 kilobits, so 0.19 megabits per second and 0.34 megabits per second upload, so kind of unusable. The laptop didn't connect at all. So in this instance, you know, the TP-Link did perform a lot better because we still have a usable connection. It's not great, but it's still usable. So that's 12.46 megabits per second download, and we've got on the laptop, we've got a 4.24 megabits per second download. And again, the uploads, that one's fine. Upload here could be better, but it's not too bad. So as you can see there, the TP-Link router has definitely performed better than the VirginMedia Super Hub, but it does not provide a miracle solution, because, you know, when we're outside there it doesn't work, and as we start to get further away, although the signal is better, a lot better, it's still not brilliant. So for example, if your son or daughter had this particular bedroom here, then they're going to struggle. If they were to try to watch 4K Netflix on that, that's not going to happen very well. It's going to be buffering all the time. So if you have a look, you've got that coming in and it drops all the way down to that. So it's not a perfect solution, but as you can see, it's a very easy solution. Again, these are not cheap. These do cost about £150, so it's not cheap, but you can see how easy it was to plug in. I just plugged it in, connected up one cable, and then you can see the increase in the results. If you were to play around with it more, so for example put the laptop on the 2.4 gigahertz channel, then you might well find that these figures here would increase as we start to get further away from the router. So is this the best solution? No, of course not. The best solution is to have a wired network, and it still will be the best solution for many years to come. Other options that you can do, but they're not as easy, is to have your main router and then just have a secondary router, and it doesn't even have to be that expensive. So let me show you what I mean. I've got my main router here, and then it will be connected via an Ethernet cable. So in my case here, I've got obviously a structured wiring going over there, but with other people they can just run a very long Ethernet lead. And then what I've done is, let me just go to the next room. So for example, what I've done is I've just connected up a secondary BT hub, and this has 2.4 and 5 gigahertz channel as well, so you can pick whichever one you want. It's a lot cheaper. And then what I've done is you have to muck around with the settings, so it is a little bit complicated. I will do a video on how to do this. So although I've got a VirginMedia line, I have got a BT router connected to it. And what it's doing is it's taking the good signal via the Ethernet cable. So I'm going to have over 70 meg coming into this, and then it's broadcasting it from here. So because from here to outside over there isn't much of a distance, I can then have my connection outside. I can also have a good connection here, and this also transmits the signal to the back bedrooms better upstairs as well. But obviously it's a lot more work. But it's another option to look into. You might already have a secondary router lying around the place that's not in use. So what you can just do is read up about it, how to connect another router into your line, and it can then act as boosting that Wi-Fi signal to other areas in the house. So this does work really well. The only problem is it's a lot more complicated. You've seen how easy it was plugging in the TP-Link. So for you guys that are not into this, it is going to be easier to spend the money and just get the TP-Link. But if you're into this and you already have routers lying around, or you can pick up these very cheap on eBay, then this will actually give you a better connection. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.